Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, crate showed up in the mail today, and I want to tear into this and see what's inside. No secret, because I'm sure the title of my video says. I'm expecting to find an Emmert Toolmakers Vise in here. Kind of a rare bird, something that I think will be a nice little asset to the shop, and I want to see what kind of shape it's in, and probably going to do a restoration on it. So let's see if we can get into this box. This came to me from Matthew Kapiski, and Matthew, I apologize, I'm probably saying your name wrong, but Matthew contacted me, told me he had this vise, and asked me if I was interested in it, and we worked out a deal on it. Our deal involved trading for some items that he needed to get a milling machine set up and running in his shop. And also included some cash on my part. But this is a fairly rare vise, and one that I think is going to make a nice asset to my shop. So very excited to get it. Let's see, he's got some tape on here too. Put a little pry bar in here and see if we can get this off. All right, there's something else holding that. Or either he glued the lid on, I'm not sure. Let's just go ahead and pull some more of these screws out and see if this doesn't kind of work its way apart. Every time I get a crate like this, I get to replenish my screw supply because I recycle these screws. And usually they get used up when I send the crate to someone, so. There we go, it's coming. There. So you had a nice piece in there, and that was just friction holding it in place. So let's continue pulling some screws out on this thing. It looks like you did use some glue. Got all these screws out. All right. And looks like he's got this bolted down to the bottom here very nicely. Let's roll this over on the side. Go ahead and pull these screws out. Very nicely crated. All right, let me get a wrench. And I think this will come off now. All right. All right, let me clean up all this lumber and screws and stuff, and we'll take a look at this thing. I pulled up a little bit of literature on this vise off of my website over at VintageMachinery.org, and Emmert was a maker of all kinds of really interesting vices. They're probably more famous for their pattern maker's vise, which I actually have one over on my woodworking bench that is designed to hold something and twist around in all kinds of different angles and directions to really hold a piece of wood for making wooden patterns. The vise can open, the jaws can tilt at angles and rotate in different angles and all kinds of really cool things to basically position your work any way you want to. This machinist vise, universal machinist vise or toolmaker's vise it was often called, does something very similar, but of course this is designed for holding metal rather than wood. So here's mine. According to this, at least at the time that this was printed, I think this is I don't remember the date. I want to say 1911. That may not be right, but they offered it in two sizes. They offered a 4A and a 6A, and the one I have is the 6A, which is the one that has 3-inch jaws on it. They also made a 4A, which had 4-inch jaws. It was a little bit larger than this one, so I know they made it in at least two sizes. This is the smaller of the two. So let's go over here and run it through its paces and kind of show you what this vise is capable of doing. It's pretty cool. So you'll notice first off that it's got a regular vise head on here. I say regular, it's really not regular. This whole thing actually has 3 different sets of jaws that can rotate around depending on what you want to use. And it's also capable of tilting and turning. So over here on the side, first off, there's a little cam lock, and that allows it to swivel, not unlike most vices or mini vices. But when it really gets in here and gets kind of cool is when you loosen this up. And when you do, first thing is you can turn the front head on this thing to the different positions. This is kind of a unique looking vise head here. It's 2 pins, but you can really grip very irregular shapes with that, both inside, if you want to spread something apart or pull it together. And then we've got 2 different sets of just kind of regular machinist type jaws on here. They're a little bit different the way they're set up. This one happens to be missing one of the jaws that I'm probably going to have to recreate, but you can spin these things around. In addition, you loosen this up, and now you can come in here and pick this thing up in different directions. And notice it flips completely over. You can turn this thing and wherever you need it to be and basically position it down. So if you want to hold something at an angle, get this back up. There we go. So you want to hold something at a weird angle, kind of like this. You can lock this thing down. So here we go as an example. Let's say you're filing something at a weird angle. You want to put your work in here and have it kind of at an angle like that. I can clamp this thing up like this and file flat, and it holds everything in place. My vise works just like normal. So anyway, really kind of a neat little interesting vise. I think I'll enjoy having it out here in the shop, but I do want to restore it. I want to go through it and clean it all up and make it look good. I know we need to replace at least one jaw on there. I don't know what else we may get into, but let's take this thing apart down to its pieces and start the process of getting it cleaned up. I'm going to start, see if we can pull this front jaw out. I think it's just going to unscrew here. There we go. And that should just come right out. And we'll have to see. I'm not even sure if I need to get that screw out. We may look at that. Let's pull this out. Okay, I was actually looking at this right here. There's this little clip, and I wasn't sure what that is, but I think there's a detent on this vise. And notice when I turn it, it pops up. There's a little pin that goes down there, and when that next jaw comes around, it kind of drops back in there. It's a little stiff, but I think that's going on there. Let's go ahead and pull this bottom off down here. That's just a little cam piece. It turns 180 degrees, but it's on the cam, so it pulls it tight whenever you come around there. And to separate that, looks like there's a place where that hole lines up with that square head bolt, and that comes out, and that separates there. Okay. I believe that this whole pin's going to come out. I need to find something to kind of persuade it. Let's take a lead hammer here. Take a punch here. There we go. And that should come apart. So there's a piece on the back here. Got a couple of screws. Looks like it's got a retainer. Let me get a screwdriver. Okay. I'm going to pull this detent out. I think that's kind of holding it in there right now. There's a pin, like I said, that drops down in there. And now that should come apart. You can see the little detents there that pin drops down into. All right, we've just about got it in its components here. We do have the screw that goes up through this. Interesting, it looks like that at some point in time that might have been broken and brazed back together. We got some bronze in there. If it was, they did a really nice repair on it. Interesting. All right, so it looks like, first off, you can see this bronze in here. Like I said, I think this was been repaired, but someone did a nice job brazing that up and either turning or grinding it back down. But right down here, there's a little collar on this screw that's holding it in place, and I think, yeah, there's just a little screw here that looks like it's holding that in place. I'm going to pull this screw, this little set screw, completely out. There we go. And now, we got our screw out. There it comes. Lots of grease in there. All right, I think we have it pretty well taken apart. I imagine one of these ball end screws on there. I'm not going to take that apart though. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take all these parts over to my parts washer and just try to get all the grease and grime and everything off of them. I'll do that off camera. All right, we've got all the grease and stuff cleaned off this that I could get to, and I'm just going to take all these parts now, put them in a bucket over here, and I'm going to let all this soak in my Evapor-Rust tank overnight, and that should dissolve any rust that's on any of these parts. I think everything will fit down in this 5-gallon bucket more or less. The little small hardware stuff I'll keep out just so I don't lose it in the tank. All right, I'm going to take this stuff up to the other shop where my tank is and drop that in there, and we'll pull it out tomorrow. Well, I let this stuff soak in the Evapor-Rust tank. It was actually for 2 days. It was just that long before I had time to get it back out. Once I did, I just simply went over to the sink, rinsed everything off, used a little Scotch-Brite pad to just real lightly go over everything, and it did an excellent job of getting this thing cleaned off. While normally Evapor-Rust really doesn't do a whole lot to remove paint, in this case, what little bit of paint that was on this was in pretty rough shape to begin with. It actually took most of that off as well. I don't really recommend Evapor-Rust as a paint remover, but sometimes you get lucky, at least in the case of this. If you don't want your paint removed, I wouldn't put it in there, but most of the time the paint survives. But in this case it didn't. But again, that helped me because I had to get the paint off anyway. So I think next I need to tape a bunch of this stuff up and get it ready for some paint. And, you know, I really don't even think I need to do much wire wheeling or anything like that. There's a couple places I may hit it with a wire wheel, but it's really, I think it's ready for paint pretty much like it is right out of the Evapo-Rust. Well, I think I got everything ready for paint prepped up here. Did a little bit of wire wheeling in a couple of places, not many. Got blue painter's tape on all my machine surfaces that I don't want to have paint on. And anyway, I think we're ready. I'm just going to spray this with some semi-gloss black Rust-Oleum. And we'll let this stuff sit for a while and cure. All right, I think that's pretty much painted up here. I'm gonna let this cure for a while. There's a couple of pieces that need to be flipped over and painted on the other side. We'll let this dry a little bit first. And I'm actually going out of town this week, so I'm just gonna let this stuff sit around and kind of cure for about a week before we try to do anything with it. And it should be ready to go back together. Well, guys, I think we're going to take a break here on this video. It's getting kind of long. I'm going to break it up into two parts. We'll come back later on and get this thing all put back together and do a few little other things that needs to be done along the way. But with that, that is going to be a wrap on this one. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thumbs up, comments, always appreciated. Hit that bell icon, get notifications. Big thank you to all my Patreon supporters out there. And check back with us real soon. We'll have the follow-up video to this one to show it being finished up. With that, guys, we will catch you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching.